You're watching FanDuel Sports Network, the home of the Tigers, Pistons, and Red Wings.
Pitching continues to lead this way for this Tigers team. Jackson Jobe got the call last night, and man, we saw the heat and we saw the terrific breaking stuff. The bats had terrific at-bats against a pitcher they hadn't touched in 4 career starts. Cole Reagans was out in the 5th inning. Andy Banez with the big blow. Tomas Nido contributing 3 hits from that catcher spot. Tigers getting ready to try to make it 3 straight over the Kansas City Royals. Tigers baseball is presented by Figer Law. Welcome inside Comerica Park along with Dan Petrie. I'm Dan Dickerson. This is so much fun the way the Tigers are playing right now. As I said, pitching is leading the way. Casey Mize last year coming back from Tommy John, Dan. He had the good stuff on a given day, but it never all quite clicked very often. He was very frustrated by the inconsistency. This year, a lot of hard work. He knows he's got the stuff, and now he's putting it all together.
He has. He started in spring training, and now it's carried over into the regular season. But that combination of the fastball and split finger has just been dynamite for him. And why not continue that? Because whatever is working, just stay with it. That fastball at both the top of the strike zone and the bottom of the strike zone has been working really well for him. But here's the pitch that's really improved for him. That split finger fastball, he's gotten a lot of strikeouts with that pitch, and that's the other thing. It's off that fastball. It really is pairing up nicely with it. One of the things to watch today is that slider against some of these Royals hitters that have had some success against him in the past. Going to kind of pay attention to see if he comes inside with a sinker or 4-seam fastball to keep them off of that slurve that's out over the plate to the right-handed hitters.
One guy we've really enjoyed watching these first few weeks, Zach McKinstry. I mean, arguably the way he's playing right now, the team MVP, Dan, because he's doing everything well at the plate, on the bases, and in the field, playing with some joy.
That's what I call Mr. Everything, and just right that, grinding out every at-bat, starting an inning off with a walk, battling, getting a lot of that pitch count up for the starters, coming up and hustling out of the box. You never know if that leads to a big inning because just busting your tail out of the box. Then, I mean, he's swinging the bat really good. We saw him hit a home run, but this one out over the plate goes the other way with it. But a couple of plays so far in this series showing off that arm. We're kind of used to saying, hey, he's got a real good arm in the outfield, but throwing out Bobby Witt Jr. and Maikel Garcia, both of whom can fly. Game-saving catch last night. If he doesn't make that play, it's probably 7-6. And then with a runner in scoring position, he saved the day with that beautiful play out in right field.
There's another team that's playing pretty well right now in town, and they're back in the playoffs. We'll talk about the Pistons and Game 1 tonight.
Stream now.
Tigers baseball on FanDuel Sports Network is brought to you by Wallside Windows, the leader in replacement windows for over 80 years. Visit wallside.com today. By Figer Law, all we do is win. And by Feldman Automotive, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. Your Detroit Tigers supporting their Detroit Pistons, who had a remarkable season. One more thing, the Pistons and their 5-year playoff drought, they had 14 wins last year, 44 this year, led by the sensational Cade Cunningham. First all-star selection, but look, he does it all. Points, the assists. Game 1 against the Knicks tonight, and the Pistons trying to capture some of that magic the Tigers had in their incredible run to the end last season. Tigers and Royals, Game 3. Tigers trying to make it 3 straight. Beautiful day in downtown Detroit. Clouds blocking the sun, but 65 degrees. We were near 80 yesterday. And a breeze blowing out to left field. Casey Mize gets the start for the Tigers tonight. Starting pitcher presented by Wallside Windows. There's been a lot to like. Gave up 4 runs his last time out, Dan, but the consistency and how tough he's been to hit are what really jump out at you through 17 innings.
Yeah, you know, Casey was hurt by a couple of home runs in that last start against Minnesota, but he really did a good job of throwing a lot of strikes, and especially first pitch strikes.
Jonathan India in the leadoff spot again today. This is a lineup that continues to struggle. Michael Garcia has always been a tough out for the Tigers. Drawn 4 walks in the first 2 games. Always worry about Salvador Perez, and Bobby Witt Jr. leading the way for this offense right now. Tigers starting defense, and it's been superb so far this year, is brought to you by Marygrove Awnings, aligned behind Casey Mize. Carpenter, Kreidler, McKinstry in right. Zach's been terrific in right or at third base. Javi Baez looks very comfortable at third. Sweeney just makes plays every day at shortstop. Colt Keith working hard on that defense at second base, and Torkelson at first is really much improved at first base. Dylan Dingler terrific behind the plate. That young man has made plays in this series, and that's what we're seeing right now, and that's what we saw last year, Dan. When they were playing their best, somebody was always making a big play defensively.
You know, and it's just at third base, in the outfield, and it hasn't bothered him one lick at the plate. Continues to really shine. You're not surprised about the defense, but boy, it just continues to shine at the plate.
First pitch to Jonathan India, right through the heart of the plate for a called strike, and we are underway. So glad to have you along for the third game of this 4-game weekend series. Road trip for the Royals, a 10-game trip, and they are 1-7 so far. Offense has been the big problem. Breaking ball at the bottom rail for a called strike.
Well, that's a pretty good sign right there. I love that slurve. And one of the things to watch is, will he throw that four-seam or sinker inside just to open up that slurve to some of these right-handed hitters from the Kansas City Royals?
India comes in hitting 188. Big pickup in the offseason. Guys who knows how to get on base. But it's been a collective failure in this offense so far for everybody not named Witt or Garcia. The 1-2. Check swing, tap foul. Dan, it was interesting talking with Casey Mize about, I mean, last year he knew he had stuff, but he also knew he wasn't performing at the level he wanted to. Very frustrated by the inconsistency start to start, but we saw the stuff. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Beautiful slurve away, wipes out India. The feeling for Casey Mize on the mound this year is completely different.
It is, but this is a big change for him here. That's a little bit bigger, and that's why it's called the slurve. That one's a little bit tighter, so it's the same pitch, but it's just a little bit different, the different shape, and just not as much movement on some, but perfectly located on both of those.
Then he's got the more tight bullet slider, as he calls it. That one grabs the outside corner. I like the way he's mixing the off speed early in these at-bats. This is a Kansas City team that loves to swing the bat. And that's a base hit into center for Bobby Witt Jr.
I mean, he's just, unbelievable. You can think that you know how to pitch him. I mean, that is a split finger that's right down and away. I mean, that is not a bad pitch, right? I mean, you look and you think, well, you know what? It might be a good spot to throw him. Anything away, up and away. But down and away is a tough pitch for right-handed hitters to hit. Bobby Witt doesn't have any problem with it.
Mize has been terrific against lefties, and that's what you want with that improved splitter. Vinny Pasquantino can't find the splitter. Lefties so far. I think this is maybe the best sign of all, Dan. 5 for 34 against Casey Mize. 13 strikeouts. This one to left, not hit especially hard. It looked like he got it in the trademark maybe a little bit. Easy play for Carpenter. 2 outs here in the first.
Boy, and just again, like he did in Minnesota, throwing a lot of strikes. Very important, and just like the Tigers try to do to the opposition, is get that pitch count up for the starter. I mean, Casey Mize is thinking, you know what, I want to go deep into this game, so try to keep that pitch count low by attacking these hitters, first pitch strikes and strikes overall.
Leaves it up to Salvador Perez, fastball up. Casey had to learn. That's his pitch. He loves the fastball up. He's come back from Tommy John with more velocity because he got bigger, stronger. Understanding how to use those ground forces that Robin Lund talks about. But he really had to learn, didn't he, Dan, to locate that pitch down.
The other thing is, you're right. I mean, he had to, I don't want to say reinvent himself, but I mean, why he was so frustrated was he was talking about, hey, I want to throw my fastball at the top of the strike zone and pair it with a curveball. I don't even think he throws a curveball anymore.
Good power fastball. There's your sinker.
There it is. Yep. And again, don't know how many they're going to throw, but that's a good pitch right on that inside part of the plate.
StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. Salvador Perez against Casey Mize. 12 for 25. That's pretty good. But again, pitches like that can change the equation for Casey. And then he pairs it with the fastball above the belt. Beautiful sequence there. The 1-2 punch you were looking for.
Yep, that sinker again. You see that little different spin to it, and that little horizontal movement. And that doesn't mean it's a bad pitch because it's up, because he can throw his four-seam up there. And if you're throwing a sinker up and a four-seam up there, they're completely different pitches.
Witt takes off. Swing and a miss, though, and Tigers don't have to worry about him. Terrific slider wipes out Salvador Perez. A single does no harm. We head to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Tigers try to make it 3 straight over the Royals. Take a look at the Tigers lineup presented by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. That's right. It's not a misprint. It is Kerry Carpenter. Kerry Carpenter in the leadoff spot with Torque in the 2 spot. I love this lineup today. A.J. Hinch was asked about it, and I think he just loves. He'll do this from time to time. McKinstry's in that 3 spot because that almost guarantees him 3 at-bats against a righty. But Kerry Carpenter, the leadoff spot, now he's forcing decisions on the other side early. Carpenter swings and lifts a high fly ball left center field that's playable. Isbell will make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. Tigers facing the 35-year-old native of Shreveport, Louisiana, Seth Lugo. Dan, relief pitcher turned starter just 2 years ago. What a year he had. He led this Royals rotation.
I mean, second in the Cy Young Award, but I'm not sure there's enough buttons on PitchCom for Seth Lugo. Statcast has him at throwing 10 different pitches.
Distinctly different pitches. If he gets calls like that, it could be a tough day.
Yeah, and watch the left-handed hitters too. You know, he's given up 5 home runs in just 23 1/3 innings.
Shot to center field, and again Isbell will cruise underneath and make the easy grab. 3 pitches, 2 outs here in the first. Defensively, Isbell really good in center field. Garcia, you're comfortable wherever you put him. You've seen him at 3 different spots. Bobby Witt Jr. much improved at short. Massey's had his struggles at second base. But he's actually looked pretty good in this series. And Freddie Fermin behind the plate, he's outstanding.
I agree. And I think he's always good against the Tigers, too. It seems like he's always swinging the bat and throws out a lot of runners, at least he did last year.
He's going to back pick you at first base. Try to control the running game. Good framing. Tried to frame the ball that bounced to there.
I'm going to try everything. See if I can't get it. I'm going to get one of these days.
He ended up catching 91 games last year. Salvador Perez ended up playing a lot at first and DH. Salvador Perez is still kind of the heart and soul of this team behind the plate, but this young man, he can hit a little bit, and he's outstanding defensively. He's the better of the 2 catchers. Hate to say that about Salvador Perez, but that's how good this guy is. Look at those big guys, 6'4", 230. So he's given that pitch off the edge, and he's not given that pitch off the edge. Sometimes it takes an inning or so for umpires to tighten up. Quinn Wolcott hearing it from the Kansas City dugout already.
And Zach McKinstry doing it again, taking that tough pitch, not afraid to.
Good at bat. This is what he's doing. With 2 at bats hitting in the 3 spot the other night. The Tigers against Lugo last year. He had 2 absolutely dominant starts. Here in April, he went 7 shutout with 9 strikeouts. And then here in August, 8 innings, 1 run. And then the Tigers stopped swinging at pitches they weren't supposed to swing at. Riley Green takes a fastball outside. I talked to Riley about it today. He said you just, with all those pitches, whether it's 8, 10, 12, 15 pitches, you just have to pick a side of the plate and you have to eliminate certain pitches. And the Tigers tried that in their first 2 games against him last year. They just couldn't stay disciplined to the plan. They say, okay, we're going to lay off this pitch, and then they chase. But then that 3rd start, it was his shortest start of the year. And he lasted just 4 2/3. The Tigers scored 5. And that was a game when he had a 5-1 lead. So see if that carries into this year. Toss over to first. But talking with Riley Green about that, Dan, he's like, it just sometimes it takes time to see enough major league pitches so that you can say, I'm taking this approach in, and then your brain doesn't override you. And you can actually stay disciplined to that approach. Right there, the high breaking ball doesn't get the call at the belt.
But that Zach McKinstry walk, too, gets Riley Green up in the first inning here. Now falling behind 3-0. Yeah, I figured he was just going to say, you know what, I'm not going to take a chance on him dotting something with me if it's where I want it. You talk about looking for a pitch. Did you get a good pitch to hit?
Yeah.
I would say he got a good pitch to hit, 3-0, just couldn't connect.
5 hits the last 2 days for Riley after a 1 for 32. This one is fairly deep to left field, and it's going to be knocked down a little bit. Waters makes the easy grab. We're scoreless after 1.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for today's Blue Moon Report. Casey Mize has always had the weapon of throwing the split finger, but recently he's changed his slider a bit. In fact, he actually throws 3 different looking sliders, and that has been a huge weapon for him. But today, A.J. Hinch told me that Casey Mize, the key for him has been landing the fastball, executing the fastball. When he's doing that, it makes all of his other pitches more dangerous, including that slider and that split finger. So if he's landing that fastball, it makes his whole arsenal just a little bit more dangerous, guys.
Thanks, Daniela. And the first pitch strike throwing is impressive this year. This one's deep to right, but playable for McKinstry off the bat of Michael Garcia, who just is such a tough out. So you're just glad to get him out with his speed on the bases. And now you're heading to the bottom part of the order. Massey's been a tough out in this series.
Yeah, if he wants to hit those, go the other way and hit those fly balls like that,
you're all for it.
Take absolutely.
Royals not known for drawing walks. They're usually aggressive. They have a low walk rate. They've actually drawn quite a few walks in this series. Garcia has drawn 4. Massey's 4 for 8 with a walk. But again, Casey Mize, going back to what Daniela said, Dan, that fastball, and he's been, if not painting, he is really working the edges and the 4 quadrants really well with that fastball.
And that fastball was so important for him last year. We were just talking about it, the fastball curveball that he was trying last year. Now it's fastball split.
And there's the splitter. Wow.
And that's why that fastball sets that pitch up. So that's one thing that has not changed, is that fastball. Either it's down in the strike zone, up in the strike zone, but it just pairs well with his secondary pitches.
Throws another one, and Torkelson will get around that ground ball and flip it to Casey Mize. 2 up and 2 down. I love how A.J. Hinch talks about all the data. He said your best data point is that guy in the batter's box. Tiger pitchers, Casey Mize, Tarik Skubal, love the data. But Casey said, I've backed away a little bit in that I don't care what the metrics are on the splitter. I'm just trying to throw it harder. And he said it's going to be a better pitch, but the guy in the batter's box certainly is telling him it's a much better pitch this year. Drew Waters, switch hitter, batting lefty, up and away, ball 1.
That's exactly, AJ talks about it, but Casey was the first one that told me in spring training, that hitter will tell me which slider. I've got 3 of them. He'll tell me which one is the good one, which is the one I should throw, and which one is the proper one to throw at a particular time.
And he had 3 in spring, and he's really kept all 3, hasn't he, Dan?
He has.
Which I've never seen anybody do that before. 3 different sliders. Right there. not a guy you want to walk. Casey Mize is a pretty good strike thrower. There's a chance he can get right back into this at bat. Waters has got some plate discipline. He won't chase, and he didn't have an opportunity to chase. That's a rare 4-pitch walk for Mize. 6 walks in his first 3 starts, covering 17 innings.
That just those last 2 pitches, you can see that that delivery just carried it there. I've been there, I don't know how many times. It takes you away from the left-handed hitter, and you don't finish it, and you want to say, okay, I don't want to throw it over there, and that's what's in your mind, and it leads to you going up and away from those left-handed hitters.
And then you dial it right back in. First pitch strike to Freddie Fermin. So what's the corrective pitch?
To me,
or just the corrective action?
To me, it's just, you know that you're flying open with that front shoulder, and that's why your arm can't catch up, and it squirts out into that opposite batter's box.
Appeal down to first. On the appeal, Ramon De Jesus says Fermin did not go.
You can see on ball 4, it looked like that front shoulder, it flew out, and then you just kind of push it up and away.
Pop foul out of play. Fermin's a good bat to ball guy. What does that mean? That means he's hit 270, 280. He's not going to strike out much. Likes to swing the bat. He doesn't walk very much, but I mean, not necessarily even a backup catcher anymore. He's kind of co-catcher with Salvador Perez. Well, this is a good bat. This is a tough out. Waters goes, pitch outside, and they will not get Waters. First steal of the year for Drew Waters. Not generally considered a big base stealing threat.
Keep an eye on that Dylan Dingler, that transfer. And that was a much better transfer and throw. Got a good pitch to throw on, too. Kind of almost like a pitch out. Wasn't a pitch out. But that one just was clearly more on Casey Mize than it was on Dylan Dingler.
Chop to short. Sweeney will take care of Fermin. Don't have to hurry. Tigers bat in the second. We're scoreless.
Time for FanDuel's home run odds for today's game. Gary Carpenter at a plus 430, Spencer Torkelson plus 560, and Dylan Dingler up to the plate right now at a plus 750. All 3 of these guys been swinging the bat pretty well. As always, these odds are subject to change.
Thanks, Daniela. Dingler, Keith, Sweeney. Last year, lefties had the edge against him, but really Seth Lugo is tough. You don't win 16 games and log 206 innings without being tough against lefties and righties. It's just that he was dominant against righties. This year, lefties had the big edge. As Dan pointed out, it's in the power department. Last year, he just didn't give up extra base hits to righties or lefties. He just walked lefties at a higher rate. This year the lefties are hitting him with power. Thus Kerry Carpenter in the leadoff spot for the first time.
Yeah, if you can sneak an extra at bat by any of those left-handers, that's exactly what AJ had in mind.
Shot down the left field line. Man, that jumped off Dingler's bat. An easy double for Dylan Dingler. We've been watching that a lot. Line drives everywhere and great consistency in his at-bats.
Yeah, this is a slider, but watch where it ends up. This is just on the right down either the middle or on that inner third, and it's just spinning, and Dylan Dingler does a good job of putting a good swing on it, not missing it, just over the head of Jonathan India to down that line to get into scoring position with nobody out.
We don't talk about exit velocities a lot, but when it reaches 110, you got to mention it, and that was 110 off the bat. Keith will advance the base runner to third. Still searching for something that's going to click. Talked with Colt yesterday. It's a lot of frustration. He said, I've been searching a lot. He does feel like maybe some of the technology, the tech cage for hitters, he's got something that, but again, he advanced the base runner, gets the congratulations. He's feeling good going into the dugout.
Yeah, I mean, 98 off the bat, so I mean, good contact. I don't think he was necessarily just trying to move Dingler over, trying to get a hit, but he pulled the ball. That's why that reaction from that dugout. He didn't try to shoot that the other way and hit a ground ball to shortstop. He hit it good and pulled it and got his job done by getting Dingler over to third base with less than 2 outs.
Curveball, a big pitch. Fastball, cutter, curveball, his best pitches last year. Slider, one of his more hittable pitches, and that's what Dingler just hit. It's amazing. He's got a cutter to go with a hard slider. He's got a splitter to go with a changeup.
Yeah, that curveball, opponents are hitting just 0.77 this year against it.
Missed out and in, so this is what we see against lefties. More walks, double the walk rate compared to righties. 2 walks already, first 7 batters to McKinstry, and now Sweeney, 2 lefties. That brings up Javi Baez. A lot of balls on the ground so far for Javi. This is a guy, I wouldn't call him an extreme ground ball pitcher, but he knows how to get the ground ball with men on base.
And Javi's seen him, Lugo, in the past. Probably stems back from those days, maybe when he was with San Diego, but has 15 plate appearances and a little bit of success, 5 for 14.
I'd call that success. Might want to think about running here, but Fermin is so good behind the plate. Shot foul just behind Dylan Dingler.
Yeah, Fermin last year, 45% caught stealing.
You just don't see that.
No.
I mean, it's
usually 20.
league
Yeah, I was going to say. Good as 20, 22, right in that area, you know.
Interesting. He's got a slider, but again, it's not his best pitch. It's one of his weakest offerings. And Javi Baez is seeing a lot fewer sliders this year because he's facing more lefties. Soft tapper back to the mound. They're going to go to the plate, get Dingler into rundowns, and no chance for Sweeney to head over to third. So contact play on. When it doesn't work, if AJ gets asked about it after every game. Was it the right move to have it? No, this is what the Tigers do.
And the Royals just executed this play to perfection with Lugo immediately, them yelling at him. He just gets in there and flips to Fermin. Fermin does a great job. Dylan Dingler doesn't even get back to third base because they closed that distance down between Fermin and India to where when Fermin flips it to India, that distance, there's nowhere for Dylan Dingler to go, and they just tag him out. He just keeps getting squeezed because they're squeezing him.
No, that's perfection.
Yep. And just one throw, that's ideally what you want to do. You don't want to get into one of those flipping back and forth.
Sinker misses. 2-0 on Kreidler. Drew a lot of walks in the spring. See if that plate discipline pays off here the success for Lugo in the first 2 starts against the Tigers last year. Just a lot of teasing around the strike zone. It was a young lineup, and the Tigers, he took advantage of it. Slurvey breaking ball gets a called strike, but on the contact play, you are going. You don't, it's not read and react. You are going when it's a contact play. And it works more often than not because soft contact is the goal of the pitcher, and they usually get it. Pasquantino flips it to Lugo, and the Tigers threaten but do not score. Here's our Xfinity high-speed pitch. This is pretty good. 20 games into a season. 4 starters on this Tigers rotation with an ERA below 3. And the one who isn't on that list of the 5 starters is Reese Olson, coming off just a superb start last time out. And he will likely join them quite soon.
I mean, that is, you knew it was going to be a strength, and when you have ERAs like that, you're in every single game.
Kyle Isbell, Tigers match up well against him. They handle him for the most part, falls behind 0-2.
And I think that the Royals expect to be in every game with their starting pitching, and their bullpen's a little banged up, that back end, but their offense just has not clicked like the Tigers offense.
Tigers top 3 in run prevention last year with their great finish. But believe me, A.J. Hinch, Scott Harris really would love to have a rotation full of guys who can go 5, 6, 7 innings or more. And each one of those guys right now has already done that. Everybody's going at least 6 innings. I think Flaherty maybe has capped at 5 2/3, but he'll do 6 innings plenty of times. Softly to first for Torkelson. One of the things that Casey Mize did while he was rehabbing from his Tommy John, get bigger, stronger. Danny said he looked at the starters. They were bigger. They had bigger legs, so he got bigger, stronger, so that he could do this.
Yeah, when it plants, and then as he's delivering, it straightens out. Not quite locks like a lot of pitchers do, but that's where he generates a lot of that power.
He described it to me last year, that lead leg block is what they call, but this is where Robin Lund, the old college professor, one of the 3 pitching coaches on this staff, has helped these guys, especially Skubal and Mize, it feels like, understand that using the ground forces is just physics, helps take pressure off your arm while making it a more powerful arm.
That's the other thing, is it helps you and prevents injuries, but watch it straighten out, like right there. he comes up and normally it's a lot straighter than that. Most of the times he really straightens it out, and then it transfers all that energy, as Dan talked about, up through that left leg, up into his torso, and then when they turn and get that velocity right from that ground all the way up into that rotational spin up to the arm.
Soft tapper tips off the glove, and Jonathan India will get a fortunate base hit. Soft little infield single.
Yeah, and even if Casey doesn't touch this, it's going to be a difficult play for Trey Sweeney. I mean, we saw him make one last night, and he did everything right and couldn't get Bobby Witt Jr. That would have been just as difficult trying to get Jonathan India.
That's what. Menards brings you the big money encounter. Bobby Witt Jr. riding an 11-game hit streak. Made it 12 with his single first time up. Before the Tommy John, Casey Mize said, I just wasn't big enough. I wasn't. So he said it was max effort to get to 95, 96. Now with being bigger, stronger, understanding how to use the ground forces, I wouldn't say it's an easy 97, but it takes a lot less effort to deliver 95, and then he can get up to 97. And it's, given the importance of the fastballs Daniela detailed earlier, that makes, it's kind of changed everything for Mize. Ooh, man. Dylan Dingler took a shot there. So I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, that like knocked his head kind of back a little bit up underneath the mask, and boom.
Ooh. Wow, that's as straight a shot as you will see.
Man.
I love how immediately he's looking. Did it go up? Nope, went down. That's a shot though. 2-2 is grounded softly to short. You'll only get one with Bobby Witt running. You can make that throw to first, but it's just practice.
Yeah, I was going to say, put it in your pocket because that wasn't hit that hard. Even if it's hit hard, it's still going to be very difficult to turn that double play.
I think it's got to be. I think they've determined it's got to be about 108 off his bat.
I mean, it's got to be small.
Right at somebody,
you know.
Trey Sweeney actually told me post-game yesterday, Dan, I know you were talking about how much you like the way he's playing at shortstop, and I brought that up to him, and he specifically brought up the play yesterday where Bobby Witt Jr. did beat him down the line after a spectacular charge in. He picks it up and gets it over to first base, a spectacular play that Witt just outran, and he said, man, that guy is fast. But the good news is I'm getting better at charging those ground balls and making those plays at shortstop.
Yeah, tell him it's just not necessarily a bad thing that you didn't get the out on Bobby Witt Jr. This one's deep, it's hit hard, but it's the third out of the third inning. the first 15,000 fans to the gates gets a Kerry Carpenter bobblehead presented by McLaren. Celebrate one of the team's brightest stars with this limited edition collectible. This is one giveaway you really don't want to miss. Visit tigers.com/giveaways for more information. Kerry Carpenter, good swing first time up, fly ball out. Checks his swing and a changeup away. That's the pitch that, Dan, as you watch these Tigers, I think they've just gotten really good at understanding which pitches he throws in the zone the least often, the fewest number of times, and laying off that pitch. And the changeup, I think they've been outstanding, laying off changeups, which are generally not strikes.
Yeah, we saw Minnesota try to entice them a lot, the starters, with that changeup. See him come back with it again, and I've got, 8 pitches, 8 out of the 10 that Lugo has featured so far in the game. Still hasn't thrown a couple of them. Still got that in his bag of tricks.
Tigers see a lot of changeups because of all the lefties. Changeups generally from righties. And you watch Torkelson take pitches, but this team in general has done a great job of that. And it's leading to longer at-bats and more consistent offensive production. This ball is fair, according to first base umpire Ramon De Jesus. 1 up and 1 down here in the third. Time for Chevrolet's strongest player, Spencer Torkelson, striding to the plate as your American League leader in extra base hits. I think it's what everybody predicted at the start of this year.
You know what, and I was thinking about last night when he had that double after hitting into a double play. You know he was mad about that. Comes back and gets that big double to knock in a couple.
I think mad at himself there, chasing a sweeper away. But again, when you've got 8, 10 pitches to consider, this is where his elite reactions and vision come in. Recognizing those pitches he wants to lay off of, zone in on the pitches they want to attack.
And that's what I'd like to see, that little bit of frustration. Now he's locked in that when he misses one, he knows it.
Bigger sweeping breaking ball, boy.
And that's what you're talking to Rex Hudler, the Royals television color analyst, and he was talking about, we talked about 10 pitches, but he changes speeds on all of them, so it's like he's got 20 of them.
Yeah, throws into both sides of the plate. Now we're up to 40.
Yeah. And then invents as he goes, and just maybe adds a little bit to this one, takes a little bit off, changes the shape to something.
Foul out of play. There aren't many careers like this. Lugo, 34 years old, second year as a starter after being a reliever for 5 years. Splitter fouled right at home plate, and he wins 16 games and logs 200 plus innings. Nobody does that anymore. But he'd never pitched 150, and at 34 reinvents himself as one of the best starters in the American League in baseball. Cutter has Torkelson turning out of the way. Boy, long at-bats, and also at-bats where he attacks early and drives the ball somewhere. Sinker gets him here.
But coming off of a couple of cutters, Dan, inside, you know that those were by design, trying to front door those cutters. Gets him conscious about something inside, and then comes back with that sinker down and away from Spencer Torkelson and just swings right over the top.
Leads it up to Zach McKinstry. Strike one with a fastball away. Tigers have scored 6 and 7 runs in the first 2 games against the Royals. Top 3 pitching staff coming in.
Look how quick Lugo works too. I mean, he goes right like Tarek Skubal quick.
You can see him moving all of his pitches in, out, up, down. Boy, goes in, and that slurve on the back door is a heck of a pitch.
Yeah, let's see Seth Lugo. He's going right to the pitch comm, and that's why he's working so fast. He goes right to it. He calls his own game, steps right on that rubber, and goes. Wow.
Heck of a take.
That's 2 at-bats that he's laid off a pitch that is just maybe an inch off the outside. That was an inch down.
That's about the high end for Lugo, 95. Changeup bounces, and McKinstry will see at least 7 pitches. He saw 6 his first time up when he drew a walk. This is how the Tigers got to Lugo last year. They pushed his pitch count up. 50th pitch of the day. It's grounded to first. Pasquantino to Lugo gets McKinstry.
Yeah, when you're facing a hitter that's 12 for 25 against him, you'll try a little bit of everything. And here's a really good pitch sequence to Salvador Perez the last time. Sinkers in, and then opens him up to that slurve on the outside part of the plate. And he gets him to strike out and starts him off exactly the same way. Trying to run that sinker in, even though Salvador Perez is open. Not afraid to get in there and then go away with that breaking ball.
Nice, easy 95, down and away, misses. 2 strikeouts, both against right-handed batters. He'd only struck out coming into this game 2 right-handed batters. Teams loading their lineups with lefties. Softly to short for Trey Sweeney. 1 out in the 4th. And now a message from Figer Law.
Make Figer Law your first call and get the justice you deserve. Figer Law. All we do is win.
Brings up Michael Garcia. This is a really interesting player for me, Dan. There's an upside. He didn't have a great year offensively last year. He did steal 37 in 39 attempts, but you look at a guy who hits the ball hard. He's got speed. Obviously can steal a base, but there is offensive upside for Michael Garcia. Toughest out of this series, along with Michael Massey. He'd reached 6 times in the first 2 games, and he pops out here. It's always good to get him out.
This is one of my favorite outs too. If you're a pitcher, you see that pop-up go, and you're just like, stay in here, stay in here, stay in here.
Come back.
And it comes back perfectly to Dylan Dingler. And that's just such a big out, like you said. And I remember Garcia last year getting off to a really good start. Then that average just kind of started going down, down. If he could keep up, he's got to a good start too. But he's a guy that they really want to keep going.
He's at 340 in his career against the Tigers. That's almost 100 at-bats now. So to get him out, good. Massey is also a tough out, off to a quiet start, as most of these Royals hitters are. Check swing didn't go, says Adrian Johnson. Massey came in hitting 180. He's had a good series, 4 for 8 with a walk. That was really the only thing that worried you about this Royals offense. Yes, they're down, but they're better than this. Ground ball wide at first. Torkelson fires to Mize. Nice job. Mize has worked 4 scoreless. Later today on FanDuel Sports Network at 5:30, Cade Cunningham and the Pistons return to the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. Madison Square Garden is the setting. First round, first game against the New York Knicks at Madison Square, that historic venue. Game 1 coverage starts Pistons Live beginning at 5:30 here on FanDuel Sports Network. How exciting to have the Pistons back, but how they did it this year, the greatest single season win total improvement for a 14-win team. They won 14 games last year. 30-win improvement. Fly ball to center is deep but playable. Wow. Isbell made that look easy. Just kind of kept cruising back. That ball jumped.
I was going to say, that was a pretty easy swing by Riley. He just kind of lunged at it and flicked his wrists and drove it almost 400 feet to straightaway center.
It's a good swing.
But how about the guys showing up, the Tigers showing up, and all the Piston.
I love that.
So do I. I mean, and then on opening day, they walked across the street after beating the White Sox. They went over to the Red Wings game and supporting all the local teams. You know that they're huge Lions fans as well.
Dingler lifts it high, a little too high to left center. 4 pitches, 2 outs on 2 fly balls to center for Seth Lugo. I'll bring up Colt Keith. As we said, Dan, he's very honest about the work that he's putting in and his struggles, and he doesn't shy away from a conversation. But he's just like, hey, I've watched Spencer Torkelson make an adjustment. He said, I had to do it last year, trying to figure out what the adjustment is this year, and it's hard. You're doing it at the major league level against the very best pitching. And he knows he can hit, but right now he's just trying to, I think it feels like he's just trying to find that feel in the batter's box.
And you know he's spending a lot of time with it, but I also look something different and see how much time he's spending on defense. And because he's had to shift over to second base, and I just think that that's probably weighing on him a little bit. So to take that completely out and make that more natural to kind of focus on the hitting. I mean, they had him out early hitting stuff, ground balls to him at second base. Spends a lot of time on that drill, you know, where they stand about 10 feet away from Joey Cora.
He just peppers him.
Exactly. And I think it's just to take the defense away from Colt Keith just so he can focus on what he's doing at the plate.
He's going to hit. Remember, it took till mid-May last year to make the adjustment, and he's still working hard trying to find it. We're scoreless through 4. Longest homestand of the year, 3 terrific teams coming in. The Padres come in for 3 starting Monday through Wednesday here at Comerica Park. Don't miss the action. Get your tickets now at tigers.com/tickets. Last I saw, the Padres were still off to a pretty good start.
I just looked myself.
Only 15-5.
Those doggone Dodgers, only a half a game back.
I just love that everybody else in the West didn't go, well,
exactly.
They're too good. We'll just concede the division.
We'll play for the wild card. Yeah.
No, Padres are like, we can beat these guys.
So, and everybody else, the Giants and Diamondbacks, I think they have the same attitude.
Yeah, absolutely do.
Especially, I mean, the Diamondbacks 2 years ago when they went to the World Series, nobody was going to beat the Dodgers. And they went and swept them, killed them.
Padres are 12-1 at home, 3-4 on the road. To Sweeney at short, gotta hurry, and oh my! I don't ever remember seeing that. Spencer Torkelson couldn't hang on.
No, a good split finger, and that's that one play right there. He's not on the run. You know how many balls that Trey Sweeney catches and just stays on the run and all in one motion throws over there. That was that more where you plant and take that little crow hop and pulled Spencer off just a little bit where it kind of came right out of his end of his glove.
Yeah, I thought he actually had dropped it. Waters takes off, foul out of play. Casey Mize has got to keep an eye on Waters. He stole earlier on him, and he had a good jump that time. No, I thought Torkelson might have dropped that ball, but no, that definitely was on Trey Sweeney, who strong, accurate throws are his calling card. That looked like it had a little tailing action.
It did. Yep, been talking to him a lot, like Daniela had said. She's been talking to him. I've been talking a lot about that. And just most of the plays, if you watch him in a 9-inning game, they're all on the run where he shows off that athleticism. And that was just one of those rare ones where he had time to kind of take it and then a little crow hop. A little bit extra movement, made a little bit of a cockeyed throw.
Slider away. Interesting mix of numbers. Casey with his kind of revamped repertoire, more of a fly ball pitcher this year. It's a pretty dramatic change. Only 17 innings, but far fewer ground balls, far more fly balls. Good toss over to first to drive Waters back. That's how you shorten a lead. That's how you hold the runner.
Yeah, he did a good job of holding the ball for that extra click to get him flat-footed, see if he'll like make that little break towards second, and then the quick move over there gets him.
Soft tap foul. Last year, Casey Mize, big ground ball guy, almost half the balls put in play were ground balls. That's a ground ball pitcher. This year it's closer to 3 out of every 10. Last year had a lot of double plays turned behind him. He has yet to have a double play turned behind him this year. What a great candidate at the plate to double up. Waters takes off. This one is deep and slicing. Foul. Ooh. Looked like trouble off the bat. But again, I think Waters had a good jump.
He did. And I think they're almost trying to, I think, pick the right pitch to go on too. Based upon the count, that one was a fastball up and away. And if Fermin would have swung and missed, Dylan Dingler had a nice pitch to throw on. Might have been interesting at second base, even though Waters had that real good jump.
Again, good bat to ball skills for Fermin. Does not ground into a lot of double plays. Can Casey get him to hit on the ground here? He does, but foul. You'll see at least 7 pitches.
The same kind of sequence the last time. He held up on a splitter, didn't go, and then waited and got the fastball. That was a splitter that he fouled off. Same kind of sequence. Let's see if Waters gets back in motion after taking that one pitch off.
Leaning at first. Doesn't go. In the air on the infield. Javi Baez will take charge. Nice job right on the mound. And now a message from Rally House.
Play ball, Michigan. Shop the latest in Tigers style with your favorite brands and throwback designs. Rally House has gear for every fan.
Brings up Kyle Isbell. Tigers have really handled him the last 2 years. He had a good season a couple of years ago. His first full season in the major leagues. Another flip over to first to drive Waters back. 2 throws over in any given at bat. Third throw over either has to pick that runner off or the runner is awarded second base. Isbell just 9 for 51 against Tigers pitching the last 2 years. He is much better against righties than lefties. But again, Casey Mize, look at what he's done against the lefties today. He's walked Waters, and Waters reached on an error, but Pasquantino, Massey, Isbell, a combined 0 for 5. Waters goes. This one is hit high in the air to right field and shallow. Zach McKinstry will make the catch. Throw back to first just for a little practice. Kyle Isbell, routine fly ball. Wynn definitely knocking balls down to right field.
Yeah, watch Trey Sweeney on this as Waters takes off. He gets down like he's fielding the ground ball. He gets Waters to slide, and that gave Zach McKinstry just that little bit of edge, saying, "Okay, all right, I got a little bit of a chance to try to double him up over at first base."
That's just savvy play. I like that. He didn't have a chance to pick up the ball. He's concentrating on sliding into second thanks to Trey Sweeney. Just hit a little bit too high. Otherwise, Sweeney gave McKinstry a great chance to get him, but again, just a little bit too high.
Yep.
Jonathan India at the plate, 4 years with Cincinnati. Gonna hit it right around 250 every year with a little bit of power. Base hit into right. Waters will stop at second. Just the 3rd hit for Kansas City. India had an infield base hit on a soft tapper that clipped off the glove of Casey Mize. Bobby Witt Jr. has a ground ball single to center. That's it. 3 singles, all pretty soft. That was a soft line drive. But you just don't like seeing this guy come up with men on base.
No, and this is where Casey's just got to take that little bit of extra time, which he has done, to get ready and really concentrate on each and every pitch of executing.
First pitch splitter down. Again, the splitter is the real weapon against lefties. Righties have made much more contact, and this is a guy who makes contact at the plate. So chances are Bobby Witt Jr. is going to put the ball in play somewhere. And this one is hit on a line right to Kerry Carpenter. Tigers bat in the 5th. We're still scoreless at Comerica Park. Well, the Tigers scored 3 or more runs in this game. They scored 13 in the first 2. You can visit a participating Arby's location tomorrow. What do you get? A hello and a free small order of curly fries. Line drive to right, hit it too hard. Trey Sweeney, good swing. There haven't been many of those today against Seth Lugo.
And we're just commenting on the Tigers' outfield positioning. Bobby Witt Jr. hits right to Kerry Carpenter. And the Royals, take your hat off to them. They had Trey Sweeney positioned perfectly in the outfield. Bullet right at him.
Yeah, with Lugo on the mound, it does put a premium on your defensive positioning. This is a good Royals defense. Javi Baez takes ball 1 because he doesn't get much swing and miss. He's a pitch to contact pitcher. And it just feels like, Dan, infield, outfield positioning, league-wide, it's getting better and better. Reflected in batting average on balls in play every year for about 30 years, between 290 and 300. It's fallen below 280 this year. Balls in play are not falling for hits as often, and just look at what the Tigers do with their outfield positioning especially, but their infield too. It's a very detailed system, and you feel like the Royals are the same way. Baez will reach with a sharp line drive single, one hop off the dirt into left.
And this is that one pitch that Javi can do some damage on. This is a slider that stays up right in the middle of the plate, and Javi doesn't miss it. He laid off a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate earlier in that bat and just waited him out to get something that was over the plate and lined it into left field.
So Dingler ripped that same pitch for a double. Hangs it to Javi Baez. I'm surprised he didn't get Baez the slower, bigger breaking ball away. Kreidler pulls it foul on the slower, bigger breaking ball. Lugo does a good job paying attention to the running game, really stops the running game. And remember, it's Freddie Firmin behind the plate. Not only throws out 45% of base runners, but there just aren't many attempts. off the end of the bat on a bigger, slower curveball, and Kreidler falls behind 0-2. So not really an opportunity to run with Lugo on the mound and Fermin behind the plate. Tigers trying to break through. We're scoreless in the 5th. And the fastball beats Ryan Kreidler.
Yeah, and that's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, catches a lot of the plate, and I think it's just that combination of curveball, slurve, and then this thing comes right in. And after seeing those off-speed pitches, it just gets you thinking, I'm going to get another one of those, and it takes you by surprise, and that little emergency hack can't catch up.
Carpenter was on the big slurvy breaking ball, pulled it just foul. Good swing first time up, deep fly ball to center field toward the left center field gap, grounded out his last time. It's worth repeating, 5 home runs and 56 at bats for lefties coming in.
See, there was another one of those pitches that he just kind of invents. That was the slow curve, wasn't a curveball. That was the slow curve.
Tried it again.
That was the curveball. I mean, that's the difference. I mean, that's why he's got so many pitches.
72, 77, yes. 83. There it is.
There it is.
Look at that. How many was that? Carpenter fouls it out of play. Show that again. That's crazy. That's 10. That's 10 different pitches.
And look at the speed differential on all of them. I love it. Slow curve. I got my curveball and my slow curve.
Some guys, that's too many. For him, it's what makes him a very good pitcher. He led this rotation, and it was the pitching that led Kansas City to their 30-win improvement last year. We talked about the Pistons, a 30-win improvement this year. That's amazing. But it doesn't happen very often in baseball. Seth Lugo led a rotation that turned out to be phenomenal. A Royals team that gave up a bunch of runs and lost 106 games in 2023. Cut their runs allowed by more than 200. And I don't think you can overstate the importance of Lugo in leading the rotation, leading the staff. The 2-2. Soft line drive, and he hit it softly enough that it dropped in for a base hit. Tigers have 2 men on for the second time today. Let's get on to Daniela.
Kerry Carpenter in the leadoff spot today, you guys. I talked to him about it. He said he really likes the opportunity to be in that spot. Doesn't change his approach at all, which is exactly what A.J. Hinch wanted from him. Still going to be aggressive, but what A.J. Hinch emphasized was the 3rd trip through the order, and that's what you just saw from Kerry Carpenter. That 3rd trip comes quicker if you're in that leadoff spot, and that sets up a decision for the management and the bullpen. What do they want to do there? And then spacing out Kerry and Riley makes them decide what lefty they want to target. So this is the spot that you were looking for with that leadoff spot for Kerry Carpenter.
Absolutely, because again, he knows that his opponent, Matt Quatraro, is not going to lift Lugo after 19 batters or 18 batters. Make it as hard as you can and give Kerry Carpenter 3 shots at a guy who struggles more this year against lefties, but lefties have had the edge the last 2 years.
I mean, big power hitting Kerry Carpenter. How about that little swing? Just like he threw it, just poked it into left field. I mean, beautiful.
Lugo's got Spencer Torkelson off balance right now. He's got him chasing pitches that we haven't seen him chase, but again, that speaks to the talent of Lugo, because you talk about plate discipline. Torkelson is locked in. Takes that one calmly, fastball up.
How about that? Just and all, I think, by design, just showing them 94. Kind of look at what I've got in my back pocket, and then probably comes
Spin
right back with some kind of slop.
Slop. Fouled out of play on the slop away.
And I say that with all the respect in the world.
It's good slop.
You know, it's that little 80-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
Now, this is a tough at-bat for a righty. Absolutely buries right-handed batters. Tork's been hitting everything this year. High fly ball, left field, deep. Waters back at the fence. Gone! How about it? 2-out, 3-run home run and a 2-strike count. The Tigers take a 3-0 lead in the 5th.
Right man at the right spot. Watch where this split finger is, though. It is right on that inner third part of the plate. Spencer pulls his hands in to get to the barrel of the bat to it, and hits that big 3-run homer, and that's just Seth Lugo cruising right along.
Wow.
Gives up that Javi Baez single, Kerry Carpenter, that little poke into left field, and the big fly.
That is impressive. I mean, he really did have him off balance. All the array of pitches he was seeing.
And he came in, though. That was the thing. He didn't stay away. He came in, and Tork was waiting for it. That's a huge blow. I mean, when you're not scoring runs like the Royals, you know, you get 1 run, okay, but now, boom, the 3-run homer, that's pretty deflating if you're sitting on that Royal bench.
Fastball up. Man, that's an at-bat. I mean, that's an at-bat. Wow. Lugo's only given up a handful of home runs. 8, and that covers well over 400 at-bats going back to the beginning of last year. Base hit into left. Zach McKinstry reaches for the 2nd time today.
Another good swing, just like last night when he hit the double down the line. Inside outs that ball, shoots it into left field to keep this 5th inning going. Again, gets Riley Green another at-bat. Got him that extra at-bat in the 1st inning.
Some long at-bats that didn't result in success for Tiger batters, but through the first 4 innings, pushing the pitch count up. And look at the swings here in the 5th. Line drive out, line drive single, soft line drive single, home run. Roddy had a good swing his last time up. Jumped on a changeup and hit it deep to center field. But again, that's recognizing a pitch that he's not sitting on that pitch. And let it go. Still has the advantage count. And then swung at the same pitch. Just want to brag about his ability to take a pitch that he's not looking for. See if he can hit this one hard somewhere. Softly to second base. Massey to Pasquantino, some big hits in this inning. Carpenter loved the Tork swing. Tork had a good time. We had a good time in the booth too. Really nice crowd on hand on a 65-degree afternoon at Comerica Park. Sun breaking through the clouds. We're expecting over 30,000 today. This is one of the best crowds we've seen in April, and that's what a big finish last year will do for you. Tigers have taken a 3-0 lead. Mize working with the lead for the first time today on the 2-out, 3-run home run from Spencer Torkelson. Look at this ballpark. Dan, the finish last year, this team has really captured the imagination of Tiger fans around the state.
You know, and the players appreciate it too. They talk constantly about, oh, the crowd was electric.
Good splitter, gets a weak fly ball. 1 out here in the 6th inning. Well, make Sundays a fun day. Make it a home run with a Meyer Family Fun Day deal. For just $79, you get 4 Tigers tickets, 4 dogs, 4 chips, 4 drinks, or you can upgrade to the new pizza meal for just $10 more. Plus, you can add extra tickets to fit your family. Don't miss out. It's a great deal. Fun day at the ballpark. Sundays, fun days with Meyer. Visit tigers.com/value for more information. Sinking fastball for a strike.
Well, tomorrow maybe it'll be my first. You know, I keep talking about getting my face painted. You know, Sunday fun day.
And then you'll ride the carousel.
That's
Javi
it.
Baez down to a knee, flips it over to Torkelson. 2 outs here in the 6th inning. 70 pitches coming into this inning. 2 outs on 5 pitches for Casey Mize.
You know, a lot of times it's not in your control, but if you're a starting pitcher, you know the condition of the bullpen and the usage and everything, and guys being hurt. You take it upon yourself to say, you know what, my guys need me. They need me to go deep into the game. And Casey's sure showing it.
First year back from Tommy John last year, he did not go more than 6 innings, did not pitch even into the 7th inning in any start. He just might, because of what you just talked about, he just might today. 0-1 slider misses to Michael Garcia. I would think he would have to have that pitch count very close to 80 if that's going to happen. And he will. It'll be below 80 as Sweeney takes care of the speedy Garcia. Quick inning, a 1-2-3 through the heart of the order.
Dingler is a plus 270 for 2 or more hits on the day. He's 1 for 2 right now with that double in the 2nd. He'll swing it here in this inning. As always, odds are subject to change.
Thanks, Daniela. Dingler's line drive double was a bullet and a slider that just hung out nicely for him over the plate. Seth Lugo has been your typical Seth Lugo, meaning he's mixing 10 different pitches, and as Dan said, different locations, different sides of the plate, it can be a lot more than just 10 pitches. Shallow to fly ball, the left. Waters makes the catch. Well, you always wonder, is it going to be a fist bump or a handshake for the starting pitcher? It was the fist bump. That means Casey Mize is coming back out for the 7th. He has not pitched into the 7th inning since July of 2022 or 21. Hard on a line to center, but playable. That's a good swing for Dylan Dingler, or for Colt Keith, and that's what you're looking for.
Boy, it's almost like Casey Mize didn't even want to look at AJ Hinch. Like, don't even, just kind of looking to the left when AJ was standing to his right. Like, I don't even want to see you. See if Trey Sweeney can get a little bit of an at-bat here, just because you don't want Casey Mize to get right back out there. Give him a little bit more of a breather.
Yeah, a 7th up. I mean, we talk about it all during spring training. Guys going 4 up for the first time, 5 ups for the first time. That means you're sitting down, getting back up 5 different times. And a 7th up is going to tax Casey Mize. That's a 5-pitch inning. Head of the 7th, Tigers lead by 3.
Let's check out the Team Mobile coverage cam, and Casey Mize doing a good job on the mound, but getting some help. How about Trey Sweeney with the deke on Waters, giving McKinstry a chance to get him doubled up at first, and then Dingler going behind the mound saying, stay in there, comes back and makes a nice play. Kerry Carpenter's got him positioned perfectly on that line drive out to left center field. So all the way around, guys playing real good behind Casey Mize.
And let's face it, missing some key pieces coming into the season, Dan. There were concerns about the Tiger defense. How good would it be without Parker Meadows, without Matt Vierling, heck, Wenzel Perez? And the Tigers have made the fewest errors in the American League so far. That's not always the be-all, end-all, but that's a pretty good place to start. They're taking care of the ball. They don't make mistakes. And they're making plays. Deep to center, Ryan Kreider's been a big part of that. He has handled center field, and it's been impressive for a guy who's made his living as a really good infielder.
And I think this just speaks to the depth of the Tiger organization and the job that Scott Harris and Jeff Greenberg have done in loading people up. When you do have those kind of injuries to very important players and you just can fill those spots and not skip a beat.
Javi Baez playing third. Javi Baez playing center. Third has been let's face it, a problem spot defensively in recent years. Andy Ibanez has played a very good third base. Zach McKinstry. Swing and a miss, fastball away.
Pitchers going on the IL, and you just immediately have somebody to replace them with. You know, bringing up a Cater Montero to give your starters a little breather, going with a 6-man rotation.
Waters has walked, reached on an error. Hannafy getting loose. Bullpen certainly a little short today. Beauty of a fastball.
Boy, we were a little concerned about that quick sit down for Casey Mize in that last inning, but he's not having any of it. Still got plenty in the tank with a 95-mile-an-hour four-seam fastball out over the plate. Throws it right by Drew Waters. Now just don't get complacent. Bury him right here with 2 outs.
Deep in the air to left, in trouble, and gone. Freddie Fermin gets the Royals on the board with his first home run of the year. Jumped on a fastball.
Yep. Casey trying to get, you know, right ahead, throwing a first pitch strike, but, you know, we talked about Fermin hitting 383 lifetime coming in to the game. 18 of 47. I mean, he's just one of those guys that does a lot of damage against the Tigers, and he knew it right away. He hit that one and just put his head down and started jogging.
Casey Mize made 4 starts of 7 innings or more in 2021, then missed 2 years, remember. Last year, the longest start he had was 6 innings. But if he can get this last out, this is, no matter what happens, this is going to be a great outing. Sweeney, and couldn't get Kyle Isbell. Oh, man. Did everything right. Isbell lefty gets down that line in a hurry. Live, looked like they got him.
They're going to challenge.
AJ's going to challenge. Tigers are pretty good on these challenges. There's a pretty good chance that that throw beat him, and it did. Great look on our. Great look, guys.
Safe call at first base.
That's a great call. Great shot, and once again, Spencer Torkelson picks it beautifully. That's an in-between hop that he's picking.
But that's that where Trey Sweeney excels, and how about him going to his right? He's on the run and still makes a very strong throw. Tigers are very sure of themselves. They're walking off the field.
They're off the field. We still don't have the official word.
After review, the call on the field is overturned. The runner is out. Detroit retains their challenge.
Casey Mize has matched his career high. 27 batters faced, 7 strong innings. 7th inning stretch brought to you by Figer Law. Time for a call. Sam, best call, the final line for Casey Mize. That's a very efficient 7 innings of work, not even 90 pitches. He goes 7 innings for the 5th time in his career. 27 batters faced is the most he's ever faced in a game. Dan, that's a heck of an outing.
And you know that Casey will be upset with himself, but look at that, patting him on the back. And man, when we needed a big outing, you gave it to us. Look at him right straight in the eye, too.
That's awesome. Great shot.
But you know how Casey is, you know.
He'll say.
Like, I wanted 7 shutout, you know.
He wants perfection.
You know, I let my guard down there for a second or whatever he's going to say, you know, against Fermin.
But that is a start to build off of. Foul back our way.
But, I mean, we were talking about, he got nicked a little bit in Minnesota, but it was, you knew he'd be solid, you know, last year. But, I mean, he's been more than solid every start. I mean, he's been really good.
Baez chases the sweeper away. Now a message from your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
Check out these great vehicles today, only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers.
And again, that 7-inning start, first for him since July of 2021, came on a day, as Dan mentioned earlier. AJ never talks about who's available and who's not, but you could take a look at that bullpen and figure out who was and wasn't. It's short today. And Casey Mize knew that going in. Very efficient with his pitches. Only 3 strikeouts, but remember, this is a Kansas City team that is one of the toughest to strike out in the American League. And he also knew that he had to go deep, and you do that by getting quick outs. Terrific outing in so many ways for that young man. Boy, it's been a long road back from Tommy John and back surgery.
Boy, I just think also, just if you're going to go deep into a game, you know, to keep that pitch count down, and they did it against Minnesota. It's throwing a lot of strikes, and again today, almost 72% strikes.
Wow.
For Casey Mize. Good first pitch, but even more strikes overall.
Jeez, the foul. Last foul. They're just trying to do a little review. Kreidler missed an opportunity there.
Yeah. But he's just taking that nice little, make sure that I want to live to see another one. Just work a walk here. That's it. Keep fouling them off. Keep getting that pitch count. Well, 103, 104.
Ryan Kreidler, I know he's struggling at the plate, but man, he has been so valuable out in center field. Absence of Parker Meadows, absence of Matt Vierling, absence of Wenzel Perez. He just went out there and he's done a terrific job. Slurve gets him for the 2nd out here in the 7th inning. Well, you can stream every out-of-market game live or on demand. Plus, stream MLB Network 24/7 for the entire season. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Matt Quatraro is going to make the pitching change. A solid outing for his starter, Seth Lugo. Tigers have the 3-1 lead. Tigers baseball on FanDuel Sports Network is brought to you by Rally House Detroit, your city, your house. Rally House Detroit. And by GMC, visit your local GMC dealer today. Pistons paraphernalia. You wouldn't have seen this a year ago. There weren't many, sporting Pistons gear in a 14-win season. They're in the playoffs against the Knicks tonight. Coverage on FanDuel Sports Network starts at 5:30 at historic Madison Square Garden. Wallside Windows pitching change brings Daniel Lynch, one-time starter turned reliever, into the game.
Lynch threw a scoreless 7th inning Wednesday at Yankee Stadium. Ooh, self-defense.
Don't see that very often. Pasquantino comes in, takes charge on a little baby pop-up. And that will end the 7th. Tigers lead by 2.
And how about the day from Casey Mize? 7 innings, just 1 run given up. Split finger again was good, but how about this slurve and slider that he broke out? Everybody knows that his fastball and split finger have been really, really good. So what does he say? Yeah, I still have them, but I'm going to show you something that you're not expecting. And A.J. Hinch says, yeah, that's it. You use some of your other pitches. Didn't take the same game plan as you've done each and every time out there. Surprised the Royals a little bit and got us real deep into the game. Strong outing from Casey.
Brendan Hanifee gets a call in the 8th to protect a 2-run lead. Top of the order, India, Witt Jr. and Pasquantino. Solid start for Hanifee to the season. When he's at his best, it's a lot of ground balls and it's very little hard contact. 3-pitch mix, Dan.
Yeah, very important too, just to get that leadoff hitter. AJ's got confidence. You can see after having that tough conversation, having to send him down and then quickly, not even arriving in Toledo, brings him right back up and inserts him in a 2-run ball game with the top of the order coming up.
And this is going to be a big arm. Nice swing and miss on a 95-mile-an-hour sinker. The movement on that pitch, that's why we see all those ground balls. He does have a 4-seam fastball, but that's the fastball, and he pitches off that pitch.
He does. I mean, and that one, that was a really good one of those 95-mile-an-hours that we got used to seeing last year.
That's fair down the third base line. Man, he got jammed, and he still muscled it. Throw to second base. India's just too fast. He's going to leg out a ground ball double to lead off here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, it didn't even sound.
It didn't sound good at all.
I mean, it had that little click, but just not that real solid one. And you can see why. It maybe was left up just a tad, and that enabled India to get more of the barrel to it. and perfectly placed right down the line. But it was borne right into his hands, maybe just a tad up.
Heading into the heart of the order, Bobby Witt Jr. fouls it back our way.
Ooh, somebody made a great play.
Again, Hannafy, this is going to be an important arm. In the last 2 days, Brisky and Brebbia, 2 late inning leverage guys, have been lost to the injured list. Ankle injury for Brisky, tricep for Brebbia. This is the guy you circle if you're A.J. Hinch, any opposing manager. He's the only one who's been producing so far consistently this year. Fly ball to right is routine for McKinstry. Whoa, he had to come in late and get rid of it. The wind absolutely knocked that ball down a little bit. Now a message from Figer Law.
Make Figer Law your first call and get the justice you deserve. Figer Law. All we do is win.
What a big pitch to get Bobby Witt Jr. out.
It was the same pitch that he took the previous one. That one he decided to swing at, and I think it fooled Zach McKinstry. You know, Bobby Witt has driven a couple balls way off the wall out there.
Perfect sinker. Gets the cold strike on the tough lefty Pasquantino.
Yeah, you keep locating like that.
Will Best getting loose in the Tigers bullpen. Ooh. High and tight. Pasquantino spins out of the way.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. Did you hear a little clip? Yeah, good.
I did not.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy. And that's why they looked right in the dugout to see if they wanted a challenge. Just if it clipped his uniform, spun him around and just missed him.
Shot to Keith, and oh man. Tigers almost doubled off India. He did not see the throw go all the way into foul territory. Again, a Tiger defender dekes. Sweeney and Baez both deking. But India, if he had picked up the ball, he walks over to third.
Oh, easy. And Carey had a long, long way to go. And then Sweeney holding the tag on him like he caught it. I mean, that's 2 of them today by Trey Sweeney. Watch him hold the tag like, I got it right here. You better stay on that bag. I got the ball. Look at that. Continues to hold it on him.
Salvador Perez, fly ball to left is deep. Carpenter is back, makes the catch up against the wall. Salvador Perez made a bid to tie it. Carpenter hauls it in.
It's the city so nice they named it twice. New York, New York. We are in Times Square, just a couple of blocks from Madison Square Garden, and that is where the Pistons and Knicks will tip it off tonight at 6 o'clock. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs. We're going to get you set for it coming up on Pistons Live. That is at 5:30 on FanDuel Sports Network. We'll see you there.
Pretty exciting. Pistons are back in the playoffs. Cade Cunningham leading a 14-win team to a 44-win season. We're getting a lot of love in the ballpark today. Pistons paraphernalia all around. I love it. Carlos Estevez was a big offseason pickup for the Royals. They became the closer right away. Closer for Philadelphia after being traded from the Angels last year. We have seen him enough the last 2 years in an Angels uniform. Just became a closer at the age of 30. He's good.
Yes. It's a good pickup by Philadelphia, good pickup by the Royals. He got his 5th save the last time the Royals won Sunday in Cleveland. Probably just trying to keep it close, but get some work in.
3-run home run last time up. 7 home runs first 21 games. It's a pretty short list of Tigers who have done that to start a season. I'd like to be on that list. Cabrera, Inge, Granderson, and the remarkable Chris Shelton, who I think ended up with 10 home runs in that month of April. That's a fastball that's, well, a strike, and Spencer Torkelson gets the call and draws a walk.
Says thank you very much. Let's just kind of get some add-on runs for that reason that Salvador Perez kind of gave us a little bit of an anxious moment there. See if the Tigers can't pick up another one just to put a little more distance between the Royals and the Tigers.
Fastball strike. You just can't overstate the importance of this bat coming back. The hard work that he put into not changing his swing, but changing his setup to be more athletic, to cover more pitches. Good bunt by McKinstry. He's going to make it. Oh, they got him. That's a great play by Estevez and Pasquantino. Woo! That's a fastball from Estevez to get McKinstry.
Boy, and just how heads up is that? I mean, whoa, boy, just got him. But I mean, the worst that's going to happen is that right there, a sacrificed bunt, but that could have very easily been first and second, nobody out. Very heads-up play by Zach McKinstry to drop that bunt down.
Change up, but think of it, the whole winter the Tigers are chasing a right-handed power bat. And there was no position for Spencer Torkelson. But they always, I love how they handled it. You can still make this team. Softly into center. Kyle Isbell takes care of Riley Green. Well, join us again tomorrow afternoon on FanDuel Sports Network. Tarek Skubal, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, unanimous last year. And the Tigers take on the Kansas City Royals. Final game of this series coming up tomorrow afternoon. The coverage begins with Tigers Live at 1 on FanDuel Sports Network. 1:40 first pitch. I mean, think of it. Every day the Tigers roll somebody out in that rotation. You go, I'm looking forward to this start, because you might see something special with each one of these guys.
But I mean, but you expect to win too. That's the biggest thing. You expect to win. Hey, let's show up to the ballpark because you know what? Tigers are going to win.
Off to one of their best starts in a long, long time. This actually matches one of their hottest starts in the last 40 years. Of course, the '84 Tigers went 35-5. That's never going to be equaled. But 12-8 had only been done a couple times in 40 years for the Tigers. Trying to make it 13-8. They'll take a 3-1 lead to the 9th.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers.
Natalie Kerwin coming to you now from the Figer Law desk. We're going to break everything down for you on Tigers Live post-game pretty here soon. But guys, it was quiet through 4 innings until that 5th inning. Spencer Torkelson said, we're going to get things going with a 2-out, 3-run home run. And Casey Mize, he had an excellent start today through 7 innings. We'll break it all down for you coming up next. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, Natalie. Will Vest, a couple of saves for the Tigers last year, 2 terrific seasons in a row. Gets the call today. I love the way he's throwing the ball right now, Dan.
Yeah, and this is another one. He's going to be throwing in 3 out of 4 games, but he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches. And that's why he's been so successful right there. That 97-mile-an-hour fastball right at the top of the strike zone. But in this one outing in Milwaukee, 12 pitches. Yesterday, 10.
Soft ground ball to start it off. Sweeney bounces the throw. Another good stretch and grab by Torkelson.
Yeah, just that uncharacteristic throw. But how about Spencer Torkelson again, just making it look easy over there. I'll pick you up. Don't make a habit of those, but I'll pick you up.
He does again and again and again.
And get that first out. So important, that first out of every inning.
Fastball's just got life. Are there days when he can just live off the fastball? Yes. Working on an improved slider. We saw that the other day. It's a little harder. Changeup is usually there for him as a weapon. But this fastball is special. Softly to second base. Massey frustrated. 2 outs in the 9th. 5 pitches, 2 outs on 2 softly hit ground balls.
Yeah, I think he's frustrated because it's a fastball and it looks like it's right down the middle. You think you're on it, but it's got that little bit of extra carry. Then you're either late on it, or hitting right on top of it.
32,000 plus get on their feet here at Comerica Park. Drew Waters, the last hope for the Royals. Up and away with the fastball.
And he knows that fastball is good. That's why he's just rearing back, and here it is.
It's, oh, come on now. Wow. That's right there.
Yeah.
Right with the umpire.
That's where you want it, you know, that 9th inning. Come on, don't get tight now.
Foul to the screen, rides the fastball. Fastball's got a little better look to it this year, a little better shape, riding a little bit more. Listen to this crowd at Comerica Park. Royals down to their last strike.
Man, that's a fastball. I don't think I don't think that's right. Dan's making that motion. I don't think that you throw anything but that.
The 2-2 up and away. A little hop at the end of the delivery for Will Vest, trying to get a little more.
Boy, this is such a feeling when the crowd is making this noise and you're standing out there and you got a chance to blow somebody away.
3-2. Credit to Waters for fouling that pitch off.
I mean, Will Vest is as calm as he could be out there, but in the inside, I mean, he is just, it's boiling. I mean, this adrenaline that's flowing through him right now.
Another 3-2. Waters giving him a battle. 1 for 10 with a walk in this series for Waters.
You know what he would swing and miss at right now is a bad changeup. Not even a strike.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat. Foul. Really good hitter in the minor leagues. Look at that. I think Waters knows what's coming.
Nothing but just rear back and and bring it.
Fouled out of play. I think he'd like to get one of these just up above the belt. I don't think he wants it quite there.
It's just, you know, in a game like this, you don't want to walk and put the tying run at the plate. So that's why he's just coming right after him.
10th pitch of the at-bat. He did. That is a collective groan from 30,000 plus. Extends the game. Freddie Fermin with a home run to account for the only Royals run. Steps to the plate. You're not going to strike this guy out generally. Going to put the ball in play somewhere. Fastball is up. And on defensive indifference, Waters takes second base. Potential tying run standing at home plate. Fastball up and away. Does have a two-seam sinking fastball, but these are all four-seamers.
Yeah, he stays behind that nicely out over the plate. Just saying, you know, you want to try to hit another one out, you're going to have to earn this one. Boy, that's a good pitch. That's tough to catch up to and tough to even try to get around it to try to hit it out.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. Again, the Royals down to their last strike.
Sped him up. Throw that slider.
The 1-2. Popped up. Will it be playable? It will not. Kept waiting for it to spin back to Dylan Dingler. Into the Tigers dugout. Jim, watch out. He got hit. Is the camera okay? The 1-2. Good block, soft body by Dylan Dingler. Maybe another long at bat.
Boy, Dingler made that block look easy too. That's a tough block. And like nothing to it.
That was 2-2 on Waters. 6 pitches later, he walked. The 2-2 grounded up the middle, and a diving stop by Sweeney. Gets up and he throws. Not in time. A little bobble trying to get the ball out of his glove. And the Royals have life.
Does a good job of getting to that ball up the middle. Bounds to his feet quickly. Then just had a little bit of trouble getting that grip. Could see him kind of flip that ball around, trying to get that real good grip or that four-seam grip to fire it over there.
A.J. Hinch out to the mound. Tolbert, speedster, will pinch run for Fermin at first. Goes into the books as a single. But as Sweeney gets up and has a good grip, that's game over.
And AJ doesn't make too many trips out there without a pitching change. And he's going out there to make sure with Tolbert running over there, he wants everybody. That's why he called all the infielders in. He wants everybody on the same page. Okay, what are we going to do here if he takes off? Where are we throwing the ball? We don't want to be any miscommunication, and also to remind Will Vest how to go after Kyle Isbell.
Isbell 0 for 11 in the series. First pitch, swing, and it's popped up. Baez is calling for it. Tigers win. Will Vest works into a jam and then works out of it. And the Tigers have taken a series from the Royals by taking the first 3 of a 4-game series.
I just love AJ gave all that instruction and said, Will Vest, you know what? Why don't you throw one pitch and get a pop-up? And he listened to him and got it.
Tigers pitching has just been outstanding. Casey Mize leads the way with 7 strong today. And Spencer Torkelson with a 3-run bomb. Let's send it to Natalie Kerwin at the Figer Law Desk for Tigers Live postgame. Natalie.
Casey Mize gets him through 7 innings. Will Vest helps close it out there in the 9th. Tigers get this one done, win game 3 of 4 against the Kansas City Royals. We'll break it all down for you next on Tigers Live postgame.